have a discipline problem. You have a pattern problem. And these are not the same thing. Because you have probably tried the stricter budget, the no spend rules, the cutting everything you love, and somehow you end up right back in the same cycle, right? Yeah, that was me too. So instead of trying harder, I gave myself 30 days. Not to be perfect, just to actually pay attention. No restrictions, just what is actually happening here. And what I found completely changed how I think about money. Here's the thing, I tried budgets before, and they always fell apart. And then I finally realized why. The belief underneath hadn't actually changed. So this time I tried something different. I started with the smallest possible shifts. No overhaul, no new me starting Monday, just 5 things. Introduced one at a time. Change number one, becoming more intentional about looking at my bank account. I know that sounds small, but here's what I realized. Most people either completely avoid their finances or they obsess over them emotionally. And I was definitely the second one. I would check my bank account constantly, but not in a calm way, more in an anxious, I hope the numbers magically changed kind of way, spiraling every time I open the app. So the shift for me wasn't start checking your account. It was learning how to look at it without panicking. Learn to just open the app, see the number, and think, okay, this is where I am right now. And that's it. Change number two, I stopped saying I can't afford that. And this one came directly from the mindset work because saying I can't afford it kept me in this victim mode. Every time I said it, I was reinforcing the old story. So I switched to, is this something I am choosing right now? The answer was often still no. I still didn't buy the thing. But the feeling behind it was completely different. And that distinction matters more than it sounds. Change number three, a 24-hour rule on non-essential purchases. This one was specifically for impulse buying. Because what I found from tracking things with AI was that most of my impulse buys happened when I was stressed, bored, or in that low level background anxiety mode. So the rule was, if it's not groceries, bills, or something I have already planned for, I would wait 24 hours. And about 70% of the time, I didn't buy it. Not because I forced myself, but because the feeling that created the impulse was already gone. The other 30% was stuff that I actually wanted, and I bought it consciously, not reactively. And the moment this really clicked for me was when my computer broke. My first reaction was obviously immediate panic. I edit my videos, I work from my laptop, I am trying to build this channel. So in my head, it instantly became, I need a MacBook right now. I found one on Amazon. It was over thousands of dollars, but I made myself wait 24 hours first. And in less than a day, I figured out a workaround. Like I connected my computer, my old computer to the TV, got it working, and realized the situation wasn't nearly as urgent as my emotions made it feel in the moment. And that experience genuinely changed something in my brain because I realized a lot of my spending wasn't coming from actual necessity. It was coming from panic, from discomfort, from wanting to solve the emotional feeling immediately. And once that emotion settled, the need looked very different. Change number 4, a guilt-free spending category. This one surprised me. Instead of restricting everything, I created one small, deliberate category just for me, for things that actually bring me joy. And weirdly, having that category made it easier to say no to everything else because I wasn't depriving myself anymore. I was choosing where my money went. And that is a completely different feeling. Not reckless, not treat yourself every day, just intentional fun. And here's some examples like coffee with a friend, going out once in a while, saying yes to an experience without feeling like I was financially ruining my life. Change number 5, a weekly money check in, 10 minutes every Sunday. I make a coffee, I sit down, I open my accounts, and ask myself 3 questions. What came in this week? What went out? And is there anything I want to do different next week? That's it. No giant spreadsheet, no punishment, no spiraling. And honestly, this one has lasted the longest because it is so manageable. I've never once thought, I don't have 10 minutes for this. And those little check ins started to make me feel safer with money because instead of avoiding it, I was building trust with myself again. Like, okay, I'm paying attention now, I'm here, and I'm involved in my own life. And by the way, if this is landing for you, give this video a like. It genuinely helps me grow this channel and helps this reach more people who might need to hear it too. So here's what I noticed after those 30 days. None of these require perfection. Miss a morning check-in? You check tomorrow. The 24-hour rule isn't saying never. It's saying not right now. The Sunday check-ins, 10 minutes, not a financial overhaul. Every single one of them is built around 80% consistency, not 100%, because perfection was always the thing killing my progress before. One slip and I would abandon the whole thing. That is not discipline. That's an all or nothing pattern that guarantee I would always end up back at zero. This change stuck because they are designed to be resumable. You fall off one day, you pick up back at the next. No reset, no shame spiral, no I'll start again Monday trap. And here's what I think is the most important. All 5 of this only worked because of the belief work I did first. The actions weren't the breakthrough. The belief shift was. The actions just had somewhere to land after that. And look, 30 days later, my life is not magically perfect. I'm still paying off my debt. I am still learning. I still have moments where I want to emotionally spend or panic about money. But there are things that are measurably different. For the first time in a long time, I actually know where my money is going every month. Not perfectly, but consciously. I'm not just blindly tapping my card and hoping future me figures it out. I've gotten way better at pausing before purchases. Old me would have panic bought that new laptop immediately. Now there's a space between the emotion and the decision. And money doesn't feel like this giant, terrifying monster in the background of my life anymore. I still have financial goals, I still have debt, but I don't feel disconnected from my finances anymore. I feel involved, I feel aware, like I'm slowly rebuilding trust with myself. And that's what progress actually looks like. Not perfection, just a little more awareness, a little more intention every day. Remember, 80% consistent beats 100% that never lasts every single time. So, if you have been following this series, week one, we look at the money habits that were keeping us stuck. Week two, I showed you how I used AI to actually see my patterns clearly. Week three was about the belief underneath all of it. And this week, this was what I actually did about it. And here's what I want you to think about. I'm going to give you some homework. You don't have to change everything at once. Pick one of those 5 changes, just one. Start with the morning check in if you want the easiest entry point. Do it for a week, just to see how it feels to know instead of avoid. That's it, one thing. And then tell me in the comments, which one are you going to try? Or if you have already been doing one of these, what shifted for you when you started? I really want to know. Because here's what I started realizing through all of this. It was never just about money. Once I started becoming more intentional with my spending, I noticed the exact same patterns showing up everywhere in my routines, my habits, the way I react to stress or discomfort. And that's honestly how I started eating better, working out consistently, and am slowly rebuilding a life that actually feels it's mine. Not because I suddenly became hyper disciplined overnight, but because I started paying attention instead of just living on autopilot. And that's what we are talking about next Thursday. Because this series is about how to stop living your entire life on autopilot, not just about money. How to build routines and systems that actually support the person you are trying to become instead of pulling you back into the old patterns. So stick around, you don't want to miss where this is going. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next Thursday.